After surveying my colleagues, I realized that we are in great need of a digital integration specialist, whose sole job would be to assist with using technology in the classroom. To briefly mitigate this need, I have created a professional development session that encourages the use of social interaction and audio-visual presentations through blogging, providing instruction for student choice across all subject areas. The session begins by initiating a large group discussion about experience with social media. Adults initiate learning through reflecting on past experiences and using their past to propel them into learning in the present. In helping adults connect their current experience to the prior knowledge and experience, we need to be knowledgeable about the amount of prior knowledge they possess in a particular area to design our learning activities accordingly. By leading this short discussion to start the session, it will give me some insight into their current and past experience with technology and social media. I will obtain a brief understanding of the experience of the crowd and their initial feelings towards what I'm about to demonstrate. Adult learners are more apt to discuss and share their own perspective, whether that is positive or negative. By asking about their criticism of using social media and technology in the classroom, my hope is to create a climate that allows for open communication, even when this involves disagreement. According to Knowles in his comments on andragogy, the climate should cause adults to feel accepted, respected, and supported. Further, there should exist a spirit of mutuality between teachers and students as joint inquirers. As a presenter, I want to show that I accept others' opinions and will try to conduct this session with this mutual respect. I will then begin a short presentation by asking, what if we could filter and share sources on one platform? Here, WordPress will be introduced. Using blogs as a presentation forum in the classroom can serve a few purposes: compiling useful pedagogical sources with or without explanations, uploading or writing personal educational content, following colleagues and students to provide commentary, and engaging the community through a shareable link. Examples of WordPress blogs used in an educational setting will be shown. WordPress users can follow other educators or blogs in the subject area of choice. It is also possible to reblog posts that seem useful from people you follow. It is important to incorporate active engagement in the adult learning process. Allowing for participants to converse while they create draws from Vygotsky's social constructivist activity theory. To help create an atmosphere for this process, it is helpful to allow the session participants to collaborate and help one another. For this, I call for the formation of groups of 4 or 5 participants with at least one person in the group identifying as tech-savvy. Participants familiar with the setting and activity will be able to help others in the group follow along without getting lost. Feeling incapable of keeping up with the session's tutorials may lead to disinterest, so it is important that the adults feel able to work together while following along with me as I present. Together, they can attempt to get through any bumps along the way without having to pause the entire group. The various sites and resources that can be used or embedded to these blogs will now be shown. The learner can choose what they want to or don't want to make free accounts for, as it is shown. If they do not want to make a free account for each one, they can look on with someone in their group who chooses to make one. The examples provided can be used to differentiate learning experiences of students and also for choosing the best means of presentation for projects and assignments. Some examples of additional tech tools that can be embedded to blog posts are pictures, audio recordings through Voice Memo or Audacity, videos created through any editing application or Animoto, and polls and surveys through polldaddy.com. Giving the adult learners a choice for what they would like to create for themselves makes the process personal. The learner can choose to actually create what they believe to be useful for their own practice, and observing others through what they do not choose to create lets them still be present without being overwhelmed. What feels like a good fit pedagogically for one learner might feel overly challenging for another, so paying careful attention to differentiating the structures we create and the expectations we convey in designing learning can make a big difference for educators. This choice and practical participation throughout the session lets the participants pick and choose what they want to learn to use. This professional development session provides tools for teachers to use when deciding what technology can aid the teaching of their own classroom content. It will be the teacher's responsibility to take this range of possible activities and decide how each addresses a particular set of content standards. This will allow the teachers to match specific activity choices to predicted student engagement, based primarily on the teacher's extrapolated past experience. It individualizes the session and allows for adaptability of the activities presented. Adult learners are naturally self-directed and are also more willing to participate in professional development if they know it can apply to their current practice. For this reason, a useful technique for framing a professional development session is to indicate that these learning tools are not exclusive and can be adapted to meet their individual needs and styles. Within this session is the opportunity for the participants to share their ideas with others. I will be asking for this input through the assessment poll, which I will share with the whole group. This assessment will be in the form of a survey created using the polling website demonstrated in this lesson. The final portion of the session will be dedicated to free time. I will walk around and casually assist with adding media to blog posts. For teachers who have not utilized any of the resources in this session, the presentation of options could initiate a transformative learning experience in regard to the learner's style of teaching. The end of my session will prompt participants to reflect on their already established pedagogical practices and decide what kinds of technological resources would be most beneficial for their students or their own informal learning.